After a quick pit stop for refueling the fan's tank, as well as for freshening up in the town of Madrone, the group was off once more, this time with Sunset in the driver's seat, and Fluttershy, who needed to provide directions, in the passenger seat. As they approached their destination, they moved down Green Valley Road with a purpose, seeing a wall of perfectly manicured trees to the left and rolling hills of the Central California shoreline to the right. Sunset looked at the trees and asked her friend, "I take it we're almost there?" Fluttershy nodded. "Turn left at the intersection. It has to be on the first turn on the left." A few seconds later, Sunset hit the intersection. A T-shape joining Green Valley Road and Pacific Coast Highway. Across from them was a small strip of grass that made up Harmony Beach State Park, with the tan sands and eternal blue of Pacific beyond that. To the right was a small seaside town that Sunset's opinion made Ponyville, one in Equestria at least, she'd never been to the one here on Earth, looked like Los Angeles in comparison. To the left was more of the perfect manicuring, but on both sides of the road. The stately Rolls Royce then passed them, headed for Harmony, and if anything, that was an indicator that they were at the right place. Sunset and Fluttershy nodded to one another as they made the turn. A few seconds later, Sunset turned again, passing an ornate fountain festooned with seagulls and dolphins, various buildings in a vaguely Balinese architectural style. The van moved on past these sulfured vehicles and hyper-expensive sports cars. Sunset was glad the majority of the van did not have windows, as the others would probably be pressed against the glass the moment it did. Finally, they pulled up in front of the reservations office, a building that looked more like a small hotel, and probably was, for those who chose not to rent to vacation bungalows. The van then came to a stop, and the girls filled out to what was, essentially, Wonderland, the eight surrounded by a sheer constellation of stars. "Is it not?" Rarity never finished her statement as her words evolved to a scream of delight. "Oh my god, is that Green Iron Slam? He's my favorite quarterback. He's a goddamn legend!" Rainbow joined Rarity in that girl's squeal. The others weren't disappointed either. As Pinkie noted that one of her favorite comedians, Jovial Delight, Fluttershy saw Entente, a Franco-Japanese singer whose music she was currently listening to. Additionally, there was High Note, a famous pianist who works Octavia loved, and Nebraska too, a country singer whose music Applejack constantly gussed over. Even Twilight found some recognizing Number Crunch, a celebrity software developer who was famous for reasons apparently only Twilight knew. Sunset really didn't know half of these people, given she hadn't been paying attention to pop culture until she gained friends, but it was clear that these were the top-notch parts of human society. "You guys wait here by the van," Fluttershy told him. "Sunny, come with me, please." "No problem," Sunset said, tossing the keys to Applejack so she could deal with the valets. As they headed to the building, Sunset asked, "What can I do to assist?" "Oh, nothing," Fluttershy said briefly before looking at the flame-haired girl. "But truth be told, I wanted to apologize to you. I had some time to think about it, and I was really unfair to you the other day when we made them. Granted, we think you should still deal with it, but we forced something onto you, not really offering advice and assistance. That was wrong of me, of us." Fluttershy frowned. "None of us wanted to do this, honestly. I know you don't like it, but we're trying to do what's best for you, really." Sunset tried not to frown, given that she was in a place that seemed to be in a garden of earthly delights. "Flutters, I've got enough stress as it is. The adoption hearing is in 2 weeks. My sister hates me, and while Tavi seems to be doing well under her medication, I'm worried what the truth will do to her. All it takes is my prospective parents to lose faith in me, and I'm done for." "Do you really think that'll happen?" Fluttershy said. "I've seen them. They love you, completely and utterly. Why would they spurn you?" "I'm sure they won't, but I can't help but panic about it. They already know I'm hiding something, and Mom's pushed me on it several times. I don't really know what to tell her, and the more I think about it, the less I'm sure of anything." "The three of us know what you really look like, Sunny," Fluttershy said with a look on her face Sunset remembered Pinkie's warning. "I think once they find out that her daughter is a wonderfully cute and cuddly unicorn, they'll adjust. Sure, it'll be a shock. I know I'm still adjusting to what magic does to me. But if I could do it, so can your family. What's the worst that can happen?" "Well, for starters, my brother's an FBI agent," cued the X-Files scene. "That alone should be enough of a concern. Plus, I don't have to be only concerned about how it'll impact me. Did any of you think about what will happen the day comes when the government finds out you have magic as well? All your dad's fortune and fame isn't going to stop the government. Any government." Fluttershy shuddered at the revelation. I'd rather not think about that. I don't have that luxury. Sunset felt bad about saying that to Fluttershy, but it was the truth. Every day that loomed closer to what could be she had to tell her family was a horrifying experience. And Hollywood over-exaggerates inside. There had to be a kernel of truth to it. After all, Area 51 did exist, even if it was just a highly classified military base. Nothing more to say, the pair wandered over to the reservation's desk, where an ultra-familiar, reedy and pale man with an aquiline nose and a pencil-thin mustache and slicked back iron-gray hair stood. Sunset and the man recognized her instantly. You! What are you doing here? Sunset asked, surprised to see the sanctimonious idiot she and Octavian had dealt with weeks before. Pristine glared at his personal nightmare. Me? What are you doing here, you little witch? Because of you and your fellow troublemaker, I lost my job at Bayside. I was lucky enough to pull some strings to get this job here in the middle of nowhere. Now, get out of here and take your future adult film star friend with you. Excuse me? Fluttershy began. Shut up. Nobody was talking to you. Christine told her, turning to Sunset. Give me one good reason why you deserve to even breathe the general air of this establishment. Sunset pointed at Fluttershy. Because I'm here with her. Oh, and who are you? Sweetie Drops? Perhaps Carpet Diver? I certainly can't deceive it. You look like you're probably spunky wild. Sorry, we don't... Leave her alone, Sunset said, stepping in to protect Fluttershy. Oh, I see. You and that other girl and this one are playmates, Pristine said with an air of superiority. Well, if you were rented by one of the guests, I'll have to contact them and see which one... Excuse me? Fluttershy said in a low tone as he glared at the man. Did you just insult my friend? Well, you clearly have the intelligence of your average adult film star. Dumb as a... Pristine said no further as Fluttershy reached over, grabbed him by the tie, yanking him down. Listen to me, you sanctimonious prick, she seethed. For one, don't you ever talk to anyone like that again. Do I make sense of my clear? Secondly, I'm a paying customer, and you don't have the right to talk to me like that. Let me go, you Viagra, he yelped. No, Fluttershy said in a dark tone that made her Sunset wonder which one of the saffron-haired girl's parents Fluttershy had inherited death from. You're going to apologize to us, serve us correctly, and then, and only then, can you start worrying where I should report this to your boss. Don't worry, I'm already here. A woman not much older than them appeared from out of nowhere, looking at Pristine being no big thing. Turned to her plans to Fluttershy instead. Is there something the matter, miss? Yes, I'm checking in for a stay, and your reservation's desk seems to have a problem with teenagers, the chiffon-haired teen explained. The woman got a good look at Fluttershy, and suddenly her eyes widened. Miss Fluttershy, if I could recall correctly. When Fluttershy nodded in response, the woman grinned. I saw you at the concert in San Francisco. I must say you're an incredible musician. Did you learn from your father? Hearing that, Fluttershy blushed. No, my grandfather taught me, she admitted. Dad suggested I go into a musical career. If you're as good as your father, then I'd be interested in seeing you on stage. Proceeded Ditto double take. Wait, Concierge, you know this brat. Concierge murdered at Pristine. This brat, as you just so insulted her, is Fluttershy. She is the daughter of Discord and an up-and-coming musician in her own right. Concierge said, Discord is a regular at this resort, so you just made a big mistake on top of all the ones you made already. Already? Sunset asked. Yes. Concierge replied, watching her employee sweat bullets. Midnight Moondust and Screwball were here just 2 weeks ago, and Mr. Personality here asked to deal with prostitutes. Well, if you don't mind, Fluttershy said to Concierge, would you mind taking us in? It would be an honor and a privilege, Concierge said with a smile. Just after I informed my desk attendant here that if he wants to keep his job, he'll keep doing everything to ensure your every need is met to your exacting specifications and satisfaction. He blushed. Every need? Yep, and there's 8 of us here, Sunset said, rubbing salt in the wound. You even know one of them, the girl that was with me last time. It was possible to become even paler than previous. Pristine did so at that point. The next few minutes were spent as Concierge and Fluttershy conducted their business, along with long compliments by the former towards the latter, a significant amount of blessing by the latter. A few minutes later, Fluttershy was handed 8 key cards. She smiled and thanked Concierge for her excellent service. "It's no problem," Concierge said. "Enjoy your time here." She then turned to Pristine. "And now you and I are going to have a little talk in the back." The look on the man's face was one of abject horror as he dragged him into the office behind the desk. Fluttershy and Sunset walked back towards where the others were waiting. "So I take it you had a run-in with that guy before?" Fluttershy asked. "Yeah. Tavi and I had the misfortune of clashing with him when we all went to San Fran." The flame-haired girl replied. "Violet was with us at the time, and since it was her restaurant, her partner tore him a new one, because he got fired from that. Not really concerned about that." As they approached the others, she sang, "Hey Tavi, guess who we ran into?" Fluttershy and Sunset related their mini-adventure with the form and passed out keys. And by the time it was over, Octavia was full out laughing. "Well, let's go check out our new chateau for the next 2 weeks, shall we?" Verity said, her eyes positively gleaming. "We gotta then boost our blood glow, since it's made for small groups like ours," Fluttershy said. "I didn't think we need anything extravagant, so I guess we're the smallest thing they have." Later, "That's small!" Rainbow gasped as she stared at the modest bungalow. "I don't think that's larger than my house," Applejack said in shock. "I know it's larger than mine," Twilight, Sunset, and Octavia and Rarity all said at the same time. Fluttershy looked on a bit of the embarrassed side. "I did ask for the smallest they had," she blurted. Piggy pointed to a concrete pad next to the house. "Oh look! They gave us a golf cart too!" Yes, if I recall correctly, there are some posters of both the resort and Harmony Proper where you can drive those on," Rarity added. "As long as you don't pass the posted limits, we can take it anywhere." "I think we should consider sleeper arrangements," Applejack noted. Before she could say anything further, Twilight firstly teleported on Octavia's side, grabbing her arm. "Well, I guess my choice has been decided," the raven-haired teen sighed, giving Sunset an apologetic look. "Well, Fluttershy and I are," Rarity suggested. "EJ and I will probably be all-night gaming or something. You did bring your PS4, right?" Rainbow asked her friend. Applejack rolled her eyes. "Yeah, I brought the damn thing. Was hoping to try out some bodyboarding, but I suspect you'll have money trapped in front of the PS4 all vacation, won't you?" Pinky immediately slided up to Sunset and put her arm around her. "Guess you have no vacation," the Connie handed girl chirped. "Don't worry, I know snore in bed." Pinky dragged Sunset off in a cloud of smoke. "Can we take the room with the view of the ocean? Thanks!" Pinky immediately raced into her house with her bunkmate before anyone could say otherwise. Twilight to the space where the two had been just a second ago. Is it just me, or is Pinky extraordinarily happy right now? Rarity couldn't help herself. "My Twilight, dear, you should know by now I wouldn't stand in the way of young love." "I know that, but..." The blonde-haired girl paused. "Wait, Pinky and Sunset?" Octavia crossed her arms. "Pinky I can believe. There's always been something about her that seems to pine when Sunny's around. But I don't think Sunny figures." Twilight scoffed. "It was bad enough I had to deal with her lying. Now I had to watch my Twilight felt her cheek sting like no tomorrow, and instinctively her hand went up to it. She then looked at Rarity, who was shaking her hand from its own pain, but also had an angry look on her face. "I think I've had..." "No, we all have had enough of your behavior, Twilight Sparkle," the fashionista said. "It's bad enough you turned your sister into a pariah despite all she's done for you, and that you're acting like an ungrateful, spoiled little child. But I will not stand for you making light of Pinky's feelings for your sister. I'll be clear. It's hard enough for her, given Sunset can't return her devotion, as well as everything she's been through to get to this point. Furthermore, I thought that she was your friend, and as a friend you should have had more tact to be supportive of her." "What? I wasn't making fun of Pinky." Rainbow crossed her arms. "No, you weren't. But you've been a bitch to your sister, Twilight, and that's just bullshit. Speaking of someone with an adopted sister, you never do anything to make them feel like they're not family. Got that?" Applejack nodded. "I can't say I know about the adopted part, but I gotta agree with the rest she said." Fluttershy also agreed, looking at Twilight concerned. "Why are you doing this to her? She loves you, Twilight, and all you're doing is pushing her away." Twilight wheeled at her cousin. Did you put them up to this?" "No," Rarity answered for her. "We're all just saying what's on our minds. We just now felt the time was to let you know how we felt. How you felt? Twilight asked. How about how I feel? My sister's been lying to me all this time, and you all aided and abetted her. Instead of helping her realize that she's lying to her family, me, my brothers, parents, and my cousin here, you all just let it slide? I had to wonder, does Pinky's family know she's a lesbian? The other girls had suddenly awkward looks on their faces, and that was more than enough for the shark to smell blood in the water. So you're lecturing me about avoiding and hating an awkward situation. You haven't held someone who's you know longer than Sunset with a personal issue of hers. And it's probably, years? It's more complex than that, Twilight, Fireside defended. Bullshit. My mom was a child psychologist. Don't you think she would offer to help she knew? Or is that Pinky ashamed of it? Rainbow suddenly grew angry at that. That is a goddamn bullshit thing to say, especially given that Pinky's in love with your sister. Give me one good reason why I should punch you the next week for that. Applejack put her hand on Rainbow's shoulder. Nah, helping. So he then turned to give Twilight a bad look. Are you done insulting everyone just because you're throwing a temper tantrum over your sister? Twilight was about to open her mouth, but out of the corner of her eyes he saw Octavia's disapproving look, and wisely decided to keep her mouth shut. Girls, can I say something? Fireside said. All the others nodded, as if on her girl continued. Twilight, I know we've handled things badly. I know I have. I don't know about the others, but I'm colored by being a de facto divorced child for most of my life. I know that's not true, but that's how I felt, and part of me still feels that way. So my life's been one huge lie. My own father lied to me, even though he meant well, and yes, Pinky hasn't dealt well with her bisexuality. Part of that is because her mother's a bigot. Despite the fact that she lives with her aunt and uncle, she's still coming to terms with her own feelings, how she feels about her sister, and how that plays into her life. We're teenagers. We screw up completely and utterly. Hell, I may have fooled myself literally in front of the entire world. That's just how things are. Maybe we haven't been supportive of Sunset in the right way, or of you, or of Pinky. Fireside glanced at the others. They were stone-faced, so you could tell that they were both silently in agreement and partially humiliated. But we're all a family of sharks. Our friendship has grown. Even though we hit some hard spots, we all stick together. Fireside walked and took over Twilight's hand in hers. You don't realize how fortunate you are. You have an older sister who's been through so much, and yet has time and again looked out for you, sometimes in ways you may never understand. And she do it time and time again for her loved ones, or any of us, but most of all for her family. She adores you, and you'll have that love every day for the rest of your life, if you let it happen. But right now you're not. Fireside backed away, standing by Octavia. Lately, Tavi's been more of a sister of Sunset than you have. I look at you and I don't see Sunset's sister. I see Gilda before she tried to change, or Flash Sentry, or Lightning Dust, or any of the girls that tried to get back at Sunset after she changed. I see the kind of people that turned that sweet girl your sister must have been in the beginning into the monster we dealt with in our early high school years. And now the person who's trying to turn her life around, but is afraid of losing everything she holds dear. First I looked directly at Twilight, asking a simple question. Do you really hate the girl who was so happy to become your sister? Twilight was silent for a long time, looking down. It wasn't until she looked up again did the others realize she had been crying. No, Twilight sobbed in her whisper. I don't, okay? Is that what you all want to admit me? How could I hate her? She's done too much for me, for Tavi, for my whole family. And all I want her is to realize she's not alone, that I'm here for her. But I can't take that. After all this time, there's still a part of her that remains standoffish. Happens sometimes, Twi. Applejack said, Remember Winona? Your dog? Applejack nodded. Twilight looked at her oddly as she wiped her eyes. What about her? This is going to sound strange, but hear me out. When we first got off, she was real standoffish. I mean real standoffish. At the same time, there was something in her eyes that said she wanted to be with us. It's not like we weren't going to get her anyway. The real reason we were getting her was because Mom was in a bad way after her accident. Plus, we weren't Winona's first family. We were her third. The first one's that borrowed from a puppy farm in Iowa. I had to get rid of her because of some reason. The second family got rid of her because their newborn was allergic to dogs. I don't know if it's true, but she was at the shelter. Anyway, it wasn't until we got her home that Winona finally opened up. Realized she was home for good. You do realize you're comparing Sunset to a dog, right? Rarity asked. Yeah, Rainbow laughed. Especially since he really is about that size. The Rainbow surprised Rarity, unlikely punctured his short. I like it, Applejack said. It was a pleasure, Rarity replied. Anyway, once we got to Winona home, she realized she had home for good. She turned to that spoiled, lovable dog. Yeah, I don't know, Applejack finished. So the moral of the story is that Sunset needs a collar. It's overdue for a flea and a tick bath, Rainbow jested, only to be glared at by Rarity. Okay, kidding. The point that Applejack is trying to make, Octavia rejected, is Sunny is probably all just afraid family's going to at the last moment. You're not doing anything to allay those fears. That, and the other point is that Rainbow's a shitbug. Hey! Rainbow snapped. I call it as I see it, Octavia said. Now, can we go in? I need to take my doses soon. I'm going to be very useless for the next hour or so afterwards. I like addition, Fluttershy said. Twilight, I'm not asking you to make up with Sunny right now. You got a lot to think about. What I'm asking you is to set aside for now. We got 2 weeks of vacation here. 2 weeks to enjoy ourselves before we got back to our normal life. Give her and you that time to realize what you mean to each other, okay? Fine. Guess that's all we can ask for, Octavia said, grabbing her cousin. Come on, let's go unpack. Choose whatever room you want, Fluttershy told him. We'll be up shortly. As Octavia and Twilight went off to choose their room, Fluttershy said, Girls, we need to talk. Rarity nodded. I assume you were getting to that in our conversation? Dudley said nothing, but Rainbow and Applejack nodded. I spoke to Pinkie earlier today. She's having second thoughts about forcing an ultimatum on Sunny. And honestly, so am I. We're not being fair to her. We didn't do this to Pinkie, so why are we doing it to her? Because Pinkie was ready to find out her sexuality then? Because we're not going to do anything that would harm our friendship or yeah. Oh. Clarity suddenly staggered Rainbow's mind. Applejack, a bit more on the uptake nod. Look, we didn't mind to. Rarity sighed. Yes, we did. We didn't want to come across to that way, but we did. We're not being good friends about it. Look, we're here for them both, right? Rainbow asked. You're not getting it, Rainbow, Fluttershy replied. Princess Twilight asks us to show Sunset the ways of friendship and to be a better person. How can we do that if we're blackmailing or threatening her? Fine. Maybe we should do something about it, Rainbow groaned. Upbeat, okay? We could talk about it later. Let Sunset know we changed our minds or something. We got 2 weeks to get unpacked. Meanwhile, a group of boys walked by. Despite their glasses, their body languages showed how stunned they were at the 5 ladies lazy out in the sun. One told the other something, and the other nodded, taking a step towards them, specifically the girl with the large cleavage and chiffon-hued hair, and her counterpart with the statuesque body and flaming ruby and gold hair. Boing! Thank you, God! The latter sat up ever so slightly, reached for her sunglasses. The 2 boys backed down slightly, and ended up falling backwards to the pool. Rarity turned and chuckled. My, you have a way with boys, Sunset, and you as Fluttershy. Fluttershy blushed and knelt to stand against her bikini. It was just purple, white, red, and gold in a futuristic pattern. You know, they're only after me for one reason. No, Flutters. They're after you for 2 reasons. One on the left and one on the right. It would be weird if they were only after for one of them. Taser! No! Sunset wearing a jade black bikini that didn't leave much to the imagination. Oh, I'm in heaven. You have a boyfriend that's wild about you, Flyers. Who cares about what those guys think? Yes, I wish I could find a bed with my dreams, Rarity commented. I'm in fashionista. She was wearing a Sarakini in muted colors. Unfortunately, I found myself a reluctant member of Bluebud's attempted molestation club. Tell me about it, Octavia sighed. She wore a periwinkle and white tankini and held a non-alcoholic Mai Tai. I swear, if I ever date dating anyone who even remotely looks like him, someone please put me out of my misery. At least you have a body. Nearest looked to see Twilight, wearing an indigo one-piece and hiding behind a book. No one's ever gone. I beg to differ. Twilight, why hide what you have, dear, darling? Rarity asked. You look quite fitting. I'm with 4 girls who make me look flat as hell, Twilight said. Yes, and the 2 who make you look more fleshed out all in the pool, Randy replied, pointing at Applejack and Rainbow. Both were less built than Twilight, top-wise. Besides, if someone like Rainbow could get a boyfriend, then you should. All you need is to spruce up your look, dear. A little more elegance and a little less librarian, perhaps. I just want a guy who I can love and who'll love me, Sunset replied. You already have a potential suitor, don't you? Octavia jested, and everyone gave her a little look. He said, Look, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, Sonny, don't break Pinky's heart, okay? We've already talked about it. She knows I can't love her, and she's mostly accepted that. I'm sure. But what I was saying is I want someone who I can tell my deepest, most intimate secrets to. So I'm guessing that Flash then? Twilight asked, and Sunset tried not to react that her sister had actually addressed her, albeit indirectly. Not even when we were dating. Maybe there was something about him I couldn't quite trust, Sunset said, though she knew that wasn't the whole story. There should have been a warning, but one I didn't listen to. That's all I'm done with, right? Octavia told her. You'll find someone. Hell, someone already found you, okay? I'll show you from now you'll be happily wined and dined by boyfriends that absolutely torn the pants off of us. Not me, Fluttershy said with a soft smile. I'll wear a skirt. Easier for puppy tails to deal with. The others looked at mild surprise at a risque comment. As for Fluttershy herself, she leaned back in her beach chair, a wide smile on her face. So, you gonna do it? Rainbow asked to see an Applejack flow in the wire. Considering it, Pinky said. Well, she all look, Pinky, Applejack said. I know it won't be easy for you. Thanks. And let me guess, Pinky is also a C-cup? Please, God. A few hours later, the 8 drove down to the Heason Moon, a grand restaurant he ended up here built only to host the restaurant. With the setting sun as their backdrop, enjoyed the fruits of a full day. Applejack leaned back in her chair, stuffed from the meal she had. Best teriyaki ribs I ever had. A gal could get used to that real quick. She said, a contented smile coming to her face. I have no idea how you're not spoiled by all this, Fleurs. I guess it's the side effect of Dad not living with us until recently. Fleurs, I said, still eating from a fish fillet she ordered. Since Mom had to raise me and Angel pretty much on her own, even as a doctor she had to keep it fairly low-key. Granted, the part of Canterlot we live in is pretty well off, but that's upper middle class, not a, hey, did you know I'm neighborhood? So, what did you do with your own home? Dad wants to turn it to a private recording studio, while Mom thinks we should rent it out. I'm getting leaning towards Dad's idea. At the same time, I hate to see the old place torn up so we can make the changes. So, you're really thinking about a career in music? Sunset asked her. I'm torn, honestly. Parts of me love it. And since I spent time with my dad, I've had some discussions with him and others, and they really think I could do it for a living, and not just because I'm Discord's daughter. Heck, at one concert that Dad and I played at Sacramento, I was just on stage playing a tambourine, and Father got mad at me because he thought I was wasting my talents. So he then looked at the ocean and added, so I really think I could do it. But at the same time, I had to let go of the other dream, being a vet. You love that, don't you? Twilight asked her. I do. I really do, Fluttershy replied. But I can't do a career in both. There's so much time and effort involved in veterinary medicine, and just as much time involved in music studies. Octavia nodded. No argument there. I know it's going to take up all my time in college, and pre-med and music are so vastly different. It's not like you can flip back and forth between the two. Well, you can, but it'll be hell on your life. I guess I'll have to think about it then. Look at it this way. If you go to musical career, I get a study buddy, finally. I don't have to deal with the non-musical scenes I have at home. To punctuate that, the raven-haired girl stuck out her tongue at her cousins. Hey, maybe we started that band I was talking about, Rainbow began. Rainbow, for one, nobody's starting a band with you and naming it the Rainbooms, Pinky groaned. Secondly, you don't know how to play an instrument. I could learn, the Latine responded, and the others laughed. Rainbow, you're already a top-notch athlete. Twilight giggled. At least something for the rest of us, okay? Yeah, besides, being musicians is kind of me and Fluttershy's thing. Twilight pointing out, let's deal with that. Oh, so you're magicians. 3 girls appeared out of nowhere as Selim was stalking the group. The lead girl stood there, a haughty look on her face and disguised loathing in her pink eyes. Her burnt orange and gray-blue hair fell down her shoulder in cascading waves. "You're worth like a whole shit. You haven't done anything other than hang on Daddy's testicles for a couple of times on stage." "Tells you see how big an entourage are you, Kita." A second girl, the one with curly gray hair and celeste eyes, said, "Bitch is probably getting a big for her britches." "Yeah, well, good like this. Probably gonna be fucking at least one of them." The third girl with long brown hair streaked with black and gold said, "Goddamn cup of monsters always out them. Some each other's kisses. You know, like those two back at school that can't keep their hands off each other." "Yeah, well, I'm gonna teach Fido a lesson someday," the first girl said. "First things first." Rainbow got to her feet. "Listen, bitch, I don't know who the fuck you think you and your friends are. We were just having dinner here, minding our own business. You wanted to see us, so you can wander your little asses back to wherever the fuck you came from." "Well, there's the girl with the strap on," the third girl replied. "Rainbow, do you realize who you're talking to?" Twilight asked. "Some rich bitch who's dumping up flyers?" "No, that's Tequila Sunrise, the Air Girls' Wind Song," Twilight cried. "Who?" Rainbow said, to the mortification of the newcomers. "They're two of the hottest pop stars around, though I don't know who the third one is." "Of course you wouldn't," the third one said in a novice voice. "I'm stagecraft, star of stage and espionage. I wouldn't expect less than plebeians to know talent such as mine." "Well, one of them has taste, even if he's hanging on with the Longby here," one song said to her friends. "Still doesn't explain that they're losers, though." "You know," Rarity said, interjecting herself, "I thought you would be as regal as you two are portrayed, Miss Sunrise. Was your first song, 'I'll Always Be Your Friend'? I mean, a swing song. Wasn't yours, 'The Stars We Are'? And yet here you are insulting fans and defending musician. I'm honestly disappointed." "That's why you should never meet your heroes," Tequila hissed. "They turned out to be disappointments, just like Discord." She leaned over to Fluttershy's personal space and added, "When I was growing up, I wanted him so badly. Then my mother took me to a concert when I was 13. Because he's a huge Hollywood star, she got me backstage to be my hero. You know what happened? You ruined him!" "What are you talking about?" Tequila reached over and took a glass holding some sort of tropical non-alcoholic drink. "This was the guy I told everyone I wanted to lose my virginity towards. Even now I still dream of being in his arms," she said with a soft girl's look. When stirred to a frown, she added, "You know, Walt, the moment I met him, he treated me like a little kid. Not like someone who was even at the age that would have spread for me like yours. No, he treated me like a sweet little girl. And that moment I realized he had a kid just like me." She threw the drink in Fluttershy's face and growled, "And now I know he did. So spoiled little fucker like you. Bet he's probably even with your mom still." The others got to their feet. "Well, that was uncalled for," Applejack said, narrowing her eyes. "You should really consider apologizing. Or what? Or might, that's what." "AJ, you should be a bitch about it," Sunset said breezily before turning her attention to the offending trio. "Let me handle this. I'm much more practiced at it than you are." Unnecessarily, Fluttershy got up and looked into Tequila's eyes. "My father would never mess with a person like you, even if you were his age. Do you know why? Because he likes girls with class, after all. He did marry my mother and have children with her." "Oh, so your mother's a whole sweat." Tequila never finished her statement, because at that point Fluttershy reached over and slapped Tequila as hard as she could. "Now I know why you said that about him," Fluttershy said in a surprisingly catty tone. "It's because when your career goes south and your looks fade, at least you could say, 'Hey, I have a rock star I'm sleeping with.' Too bad you don't even have that." Tequila reacted to a blow. "You're gonna pay for that, bitch," she snarled Fluttershy. "No, you're going to be outclassed," Octavia said, coming to her friend's rescue. "Let us con, and I'll sing you any day of the week. Probably right now, even." "Is there a problem with this?" A waitress came over and asked. "Yes," Tequila said. "I want that stage ready in 5 minutes. These girls and I all, well, let's just say, people here get to show their lives." The waitress replied, "I'll have to talk to the manager about it. But you're Tequila Sunrise, right? That's Wind Song. I'm a huge fan of you both." Just doing my entertainment for Lord Fansaki, Tequila said, slipping to her stage persona. And now would you be a dear and let the stage master know we're eager to celebrate this wonderful place with all the wonderful people here, Winsong added. As the Rachel scurried off, Piggy shook her head. You know, you two were actually as nice as you pretend to be. You probably have more fans. Don't open your mouth again, Winsong warned her. I could practically see the pubic cat stuck between your teeth. Sunset got in between Pinky and Winsong. Don't say what you can't back up. Between Rainbow and AJ here, you'll be lucky if you can walk away intact. Besides, it's clear you two are afraid as hell that Fluttershy's gonna outclass you both. You wouldn't know, Klaus, if you saw it, you blanket-haired bitch. Look who's talking. As much of a bitch that Tequila is, at least she has a few hit singles from her own albums. Twilight added. You needed a soundtrack to actually make your name. Plus, you're picking a fight with the wrong girl. Sunny will break you in two. Thanks? Sunset said a voice. Sister was snapping on our behalf. I may be furious with you right now, Twilight whispered, but I'm gonna let this slide, no matter who's involved. At this point, the Rangers came back with a manager to tow. Miss Sunrise, I understand that you and your friends was to plan a show for us. Wendy and I are just at him talking with Disco Star here, who's interested in a career of her own. We figured, well, a better way to perform here and now. After all, it's a great way for people to see that you actually meant for a stage or not. The manager, clearly not understanding what was going on, nodded. Well then, if I could have the stage ready and make some appointment announcements in 30 minutes, the band was scheduled to play tonight. Well, we do have some spare instruments here, as well as a karaoke machine. I guess it needs some musical accompaniment. We've got that taken care of, no problem, Stagecraft insisted. If you could get me a piano, Keela and Wendy here are going to perform their unique duet single for the first time in public. Zena looked at Fluttershy with the same glance as a wolf at its prey. Assuming you have something ready. Realizing she couldn't back up her own words, Fluttershy was about to back down when Octavia stepped beside her. If you got a pro combo with a keyboard and electric bass guitar, Fluttershy and I could put on one hell of a show, she charged. Oh, I'm sorry we have those. Let me grab a couple of sisters on site and I'll be ready. With that, the manager wandered off. Ready for this little performance, he was sure was only going to raise the profile to resort further. So, another loser does the fly, Tequila said. Little girl, I'm sure the only things you can play are toy guitar and a skin flute. Well, this is the real music world. Yes, and I've been performing since I was 6 and likely played more instruments than you can spell, Octavia replied. I'm probably the only true instrumentalist here, and I know what Flutters is capable of. So let's see you put your money where your mouth is. Got that? You talk good bit shit, but I bet you can't back it up, Winsong argued. Oh, I know she can, Fluttershy interjected, and she will. You just carry yourselves away and prepare to lose, badly. Let's keep up your bravado, Tequila cued. Let's see how well you do once you're reduced to a mini child on stage. Come on, girls, we got half an hour to burn these bitches. If you're smart, you use those 30 minutes to start running away as fast as you can, Starcraft crowd. Just keep talking, Rainbow said. We'll see who has to run once Flares and Tavi embarrass the hell out of you. As the other girls departed, Fluttershy nearly collapsed to the floor, if it hadn't for Pinky catching her. Easy, Flares, we got you. Tavi, why? Because you're better than they are, Flutters. And there's anyone who deserves to be a star, it's you. I'm going to help with that. How? Twilight asked. You have 30 minutes to find a song to wow the crowd, practice, and outdo professionals, even if they're acting like jerks. What song do you have in mind? Sunset asked. Octavia explained, as well as her reasoning, and by the time she was done, the others had shrewd looks on their faces. I can help Flutters get ready for singing, Sunset asked her. You got a copy of this song? Nerd Fisters should be available on YouTube. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go tune that bass guitar and program the keyboard. AJ, come with me, please, Octavia said. Sir, but I'm no magician, you know that. Yes, but you are muscle, and frankly, I don't trust them any farther than I can throw them. Sounds reasonable. Rainbow, with me? Applejack asked. Oh, hell yes. You're gonna need backup like yourself tomorrow, Rainbow insisted. Yes, Rarity said. We have 20 minutes to pick out an ensemble for Fluttershy that'll be worthy of her being on stage. I'm going to need your help. We need to get to boutiques. Fast. Honey! Maggie turned, and Twilight wordlessly nodded, while following Rarity as they headed towards where they would park their golf cart, leaving Fluttershy and Sunset alone. I can't do this, Fluttershy moaned. You can't, and I'll help you, Sunset insisted. Come on, let's go find a private pot to chat. Fluttershy quickly wrote the bungalow ID on the bill, as well as the tip, and together the two walked out of the restaurant and down to the beach. The first stars of the night were starting to break out over the crepuscular sky. A few had a soundtrack from a distant tin on the pier, building in the whispering waves of the ocean sliding towards the shore. They walked down to the beach until they found two unoccupied beach chairs and sat down. Now, I want you to close your eyes and focus on the sound of the ocean. Sure, Fluttershy stated as he requested. What are you going to do? Do you remember that time I ran into you while you were getting accosted by those boys from Sunnytown High? Fluttershy nodded. I was afraid back then. Afraid of both them and you. Sorry. It's okay. I knew you were afraid. Yet you put aside that fear to help me become the person I am now. Sunset reached over and placed the tips of her fingers on Fluttershy's temple. That's the strength you have and the fire within you. Fluttershy, you're the kindest girl I know. You wielded elemental magic. That makes you special and far stronger than those girls. But what if I mess up? You won't, Sunset said in a gentle voice, whilst her fingers started to glow with power. And even if you do, those who are your friends and those who love you will still be by your side. Because we know you stood before the challenge and didn't back down. Thanks. What are you doing? It's a simple hypnosis spell. It's allowing me to basically apply the lyrics to your head as if you've been practicing it forever. Second layer, Sunset added, just in case. That's all I'm going to do. I know. I trust you, Sunny. Thanks. Now you have some bullies to beat. You ready? Let's do this, Fluttershy said with confidence. The Sunset often heard her friend's voice. It was the sound of a line being drawn, and the chiffon-haired girl knowing she was going to hold the line, and well be to anyone or anything that even thought they could hope to cross it. Sunset's hands flared silent. Second layer, Fluttershy opened her eyes, and that same glow was there.